I'm going to a place that is north of Los Angeles, California. It is in this basin. Here's Los Angeles, and it's in this basin right here. To the north of that is a little place called Chatsworth. Go to Chatsworth, you take the Highway 27 through Chatsworth up here, and you make a left turn on Santa Susana Pass. Up here off of Santa Susana Pass, right here in this location, is the infamous Spahn Ranch, the place from which Charles Manson sent his killers out to go kill 5 people at the Tate and Polanski residence. The date was Friday, August 8th, 1969, and he sent Charles Tex Watson, Susan Adkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian. They got into a car and drove. Don't know the exact route, but they had to come out this way, get down to this area over here. Now, according to Tex Watson, he said he got to Santa Monica Boulevard, which is this big yellow streak here, or this big yellow line, and he ended up going all the way to Hollywood. And then he had to turn around and come back and got to West Hollywood, and then went up and found Sunset Boulevard, which is this yellow line right here. When he got to Sunset Boulevard, he took it down and he made a right turn right here onto Benedict Canyon Drive, which is this road here, goes up, and he took it all the way to right here. This is Cielo Drive. It goes up through this little canyon, and then he turned left here, and he made it to the residence that used to be right here, which was the Tate residence. So let's go down to street level. Okay, so here we are on Benedict Canyon Drive. Benedict Canyon Drive is running north and south. And he got to this intersection right here, and he made a left turn on Cielo Drive. And here's the sign. It's hard to see it, but it does say Cielo Drive. And they drove up this road, Cielo Drive. And I know you can't see it on Google Earth, but this road is pretty steep. It's about 12 to 13% grade. I've ridden my bicycle up this road a couple of times, and I do a lot of bicycle riding and climbing. And I have to say that this climb here is a very difficult climb. So they went all the way up, and to save time, I'm going to go ahead and exit the street view. We'll go up to the intersection right here. Go ahead and back to street view. This is the intersection right here where the killers came up Cielo Drive, made a left, and continued on the private part of Cielo Drive, went up, cut the phone lines, backed the car down. Most likely, I'm guessing they parked it here, and they walked back up there and committed those horrible crimes. Now, on Google Earth, you can't go up on this private drive because it's private, but you can go across the street on Bella Drive, which is right here. And I've ridden my bicycle up this. This is also very steep. If you ever go visit the place, you're not allowed to park on the right side, but it looks like there's some parking over here on the left side that you can park in, and then just walk up the rest of the way because there are no parking signs from that point on. And if you go up it on foot, you can get to this point right about here, walk up to the fence. Can't do it on Google Earth, and you can see that the killers went back up this road here. And this mansion is on the location where the former Tate Polanski house used to be, the house where the murders took place. They drove the car up. There was a telephone pole right about in here, and they cut the phone lines. A lot of people think this is the telephone pole over here, but that's a new telephone pole. The original one was on this side. Also, at that time, the only houses that were here were this first house, which has been remodeled since then, and this middle house, or the third house, which looks like it's pretty much the way it was back then, with a couple of modifications. These other 3 homes were not there at that time. So let's go ahead and exit the street view. Okay, so we just exited the street view. We were over here where this computer hand is, and we were looking across this way. This is the row of houses. Benedict Canyon's here, Cielo Drive is here, it comes around, and this is the home right here where the crimes took place. Now there's photos here, and you can see this is the home, the mansion that is there now. It is owned by a guy by the name of Jeff Franklin. He bought the property, I think it was 1993. He demolished the old house, which was this one here, and then had this big mansion built. Jeff Franklin is a successful Hollywood producer, best known for a TV show called Full House. So here's the old house, and this is the new house. Now the old house, you can see this is where the murders took. This is the house in which the murders took place. The first person killed was Stephen Parent, right around over in this section of the photo. It doesn't go all the way over, but it was somewhere in here where he was shot 4 times by Tex Watson. Then they pushed the car back into this area a little. Inside the house, they found Jay Sebring and Sharon Tate. Here's the front door. Let me see if I can click on this. So the front door is here, the door that had the word pig written on it and Sharon Tate's blood. You can see the walkway there. Wojciech Frykowski came out and was killed right about here on the front lawn is where his body was found. Abigail Folger ran out the back, came around by the pool and tried to run away, but they caught her somewhere in here on the lawn and finished her off. So this here is the location where it happened, right here. Now after they committed those horrible crimes, they went running down the private driveway here, back to the car, took the car, went back down Cielo Drive to Benedict Canyon, turned left on Benedict Canyon, went up Benedict Canyon, all the way to this street right here, Portola Drive, and let's get down to the street level here. As you can see, it says Portola Drive right here. They got here, and they made a right turn up Portola. So they came up Benedict Canyon, turned right on Portola, and went up here to this house. Now, I'm not sure. They went to this house here. They ended up at this house, but I'm not sure if they went up and turned around and came back and parked on the side of the road, or if they just came up and turned into this driveway, or if they went up and turned around somewhere, came down and parked in the middle of the road. What we do know is that they ended up coming to this house, and right in here is a spigot that had a water hose on it, and they used that water hose and spigot to wash the blood off of their body. The owner of the home came out and said, "What are you doing?" And Tex Watson said in his best Texas draw that they were out hiking and they were just trying to get some water to drink. They were thirsty. The man didn't believe him and came down after him, and they ran and got into the car and tried to start it, but Tex Watson flooded the car, couldn't get it started right away. The man got down to the car and reached into the car and tried to pull the keys out. However, Tex Watson was able to push his arms out, roll the window up, get the car started, and roll back down to Benedict Canyon, and they headed up Benedict Canyon, turned right on Benedict Canyon, and continued on. So I'm going to exit the street view here. Let's go back north, exit the street view. So they went up Benedict Canyon. Right here, they got to here around these turns, and it was right about here. You can see this little dirt patch here. Let's go back to street level. It was this dirt patch here where they drove the car up and threw the bloody clothes over the embankment. Now, at that time, this curb, this guardrail, and this fence were not there. So they were able to drive right up in this dirt section, throw everything over the embankment, right across the street from this house right here. Now, the bloody clothes were found by a news crew who called the local police, and the detectives that were on the case came and picked up the bloody clothes and used it as evidence. Now, after that, they continued up Benedict Canyon. I'll exit street view here. So it was right here where they threw the bloody clothes over the embankment, and then they continued on up Benedict Canyon. Benedict Canyon ends at Mulholland Drive. They turned left on Mulholland, took Mulholland to this road here, which is called Beverly Glen. And as they were going down Beverly Glen, came around this turn, Tex Watson was driving, and while he was driving, he took the .22 buntline pistol with his left hand and flung it out over the top of the car while he was driving. And it ended up landing in the backyard of this house right here underneath the trees on this embankment. Let's go to street level here. And you can see these two telephone poles right here. These two telephone poles mark the backyard where the gun was found. So right here, the gun was flung out over the top of the car while he was driving with his left hand, and it ended up going down here, this very steep embankment, which is somebody's backyard. And you can see right here where these telephone poles are, right here, this backyard runs into this house here. Let's go down to street level. And here's the cul-de-sac, and this is the house right here with the backyard that goes up the embankment that the gun was found in by an 11-year-old boy by the name of Stephen Weiss. He found the gun. He was pretty certain it was a gun used in the murder. He was right. Nobody believed him, but he was right. After they threw the gun, they continued on down Beverly Glen and ended up finding their way back to the Chatsworth area way over here, and went back up Santa Susana Pass here, this road here, back to Spahn Ranch, where they were met by Charles Manson, and the first thing he asked them was, "What are you guys doing back so soon?" And then later on he asked them, all four of them, if they felt any guilt, and they all said no. That would have been early Saturday morning, August 9th, and later on that day, August 9th, they set out for their next set of killings, which I will take you on that journey on my next video.